Greetings again, Dan Halligan with another K&A Games instructional video, Season 2 of our gameplay run-through. We had already played Season 1. That courtship was won by Family York, who was battling Family Asquith. Although York has been playing terribly. I apologize for not playing my own game very well. The acquisition of one improvement tile over the course of a season is abysmal. We're going to begin the second season. The first player marker is going to get moved over to York. Because we have an open courtship, it would be a distinct advantage for one player to enjoy seeing the theme associated with the courtship first and being able to react with purchases in the builder's market. So I'm going to walk over to Family York here. Okay, Family York, beginning Season 2. Playing just abysmally. No improvement in the reputation and one tile. Whew. Sometimes you can instruct through poor play. So where are we? We're starting Season 2, turn square 5, open courtship. Prestige is in play now. So servants have discovered they're in love with just lavish, elaborate living. Prestige tiles are the order of the day in Season 2. And as we look at the market, we do see one is there, excuse me. That's going to be very, very interesting. Now, from the standpoint of York, the big problem is money. I talked about going ahead and getting my reputation going by using the love interest, who has a nice reputation pop. And I will do that, but I'm going to do that the second turn of Season 2. I have to get another tile. I have to start a path. And I want to get this tile right here. Well, do I go for that prestige tile? Well, I need 400 for that. I can get 200 there. I don't even know that I can get, oh no, the Earl of Shire, he's got 3 reputation. I can't play him. 2 reputation, I can't play him. Great guests I have. I can't get there on money. Now, I could trade reputation in a special action to get money, but I don't have any reputation to trade. So I'm blocked from that 400, but I can get the 300, and I'm going to do that. You can play a tile again and again and again, and you don't flip it back and forth. Once you've got the renovation and then actually hosted the event, you get the bump in victory points, and you can play again and again on the back side. But the problem is, if you're playing the same tile over and over, you're not flipping other tiles and getting victory points as far as your endgame scoring. Endgame scoring takes into account all the victory points in your improvement organizer, takes into account all the victory points generated by your elite guests, takes into account victory points associated with objective cards, victory points associated with courtship, and there's even victory points available for servants and money. So there's lots of paths to victory, of which York isn't taking hardly any, because I'm going to be replaying this. Whoops, got to rotate my service as the first action. Follow your player board. And I'm going to take my footman there. 2 gentry are invited. Now I could, I can. That's a great idea. Glad I just thought of it. I only need 100. I can't play those guys because they're of a reputation, but I can play. Look at that, and that's actually the love interest. So I'm going to play those 2. I need a lady's maid here. Boom. I like this. Good recovery. 200 pounds there. I have a choice between reputation and 100 pounds. And normally I'd like to take reputation, but I need that 100 pounds. Gets me to 300. Gets me the purchase of this breakfast room, which fulfills that and gives me a path. Second level tile gives me a path for future activities. Reputation, I've got 3. I can get off the schneid here. That's big. And we're done. Take our 2 servants, put them in the expended service. Take this tile, doesn't flip this time, goes back in there. And these go here. For Asquith, there's no question what they're going after. I mean, absolutely no. Well, now that I look at populating this board, let's get something coming in here. Whoa! Music room. Big. Look at the front side victory points. Prestige tiles are characterized by a lot of front side victory points. Makes them very attractive, and just acquiring them gets you ahead. Now, I've got a couple things to think about. I've got 200. I need 300 for that. This is going to be a chip shot. Remember, at the beginning of each new season, the card shed allows me to acquire another victory or objective card. So I flip that, and this is a very good card. For every 2 guests that I have at the end of the game, I get a victory point. So a full house gets extra victory points. That's something to keep in mind. But right now my focus is really on that tile. Not only for helping here, but for helping there. It's clearly the tile I want. So I need 100. I want to look at, see who I have. Whoops. Rotate service, Dan. Follow your instructions. So I do have a footman. And I've got the play. That's perfect right there. Take a look at this. So we're going to come over with the parlor. Housekeeper is going to support a game of whist. 2 ladies are invited. I have these 2 ladies. I have a footman. Excellent. And I get 100 pounds from her. That comes over here, gives me 300 pounds, which allows me to acquire the smoking room. That is outstanding. And then I have reputation. I have 3 reputation there. You're seeing reputation here, but this is an admirer bonus. So typically, you think of your great Jane Austen and Anthony Trollope. When the young lady of the house catches the eye of a gentleman of high social standing, if she accompanies that gentleman, which would be a prestige guest, to an event, then there's an admirer bonus of 2 reputation. Basically brings, quite a good look for the family that's trying to improve their reputation to be traveling in such circles. So so I got the 100 there. She gets to invite 1 guest, so cross my fingers I have a decent guest, and she's not bad. Miss Carolyn West goes in the pile here. I'm done. Now we flip this over. Nice. I'm in the sort of dominant position for this courtship that York was in for the estate courtship. We're done here. Goes over into my discard pile. And we go to, we go to the next season. So on the turn track, you'll notice an objective card. This is a built-in objective card. It has nothing to do with the card shed. And each player starts that turn by acquiring 3 objective cards and keeping 1. So the 3 objective cards that York is looking at is a monument bonus, is an under butler bonus, and a service tile bonus. I'm going to go for the under butler bonus because I see that butler's pantry out there. I don't think there'll be a lot of focus on that. So I'm going to take that, put that over there, put these at the bottom of the deck. And I'm going to remember to rotate my service. Slide these 2 over here. Now I'm thinking I've got a little bit of a path and I want to get reputation. I want to keep boosting reputation. Let's see who I've got to invite. Well, I don't exactly have the ladies to go to the parlor, do I? Darn. And I can't invite those 2. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to need to pass. I really want to play that gentleman, and I could play these 2. Because I have the necessary servants for that. This is just, I'm going to go to the gazebo because I want to get some guests in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to host another afternoon tea. I'm going to go ahead and provide service here. Major Hawes and Penelope Atwood. Sorry, couldn't read my own card. And start out, we don't have any money in play here, but we do pick up 2 reputation, which gets me finally to a 2nd level of reputation. And I have 2 invites. I have an invite here, which is very similar to the lady of the house, where I can see 2 and take 1. And then I have somebody here who just invites whoever they get. I'm going to go with the single invite first, see if I get lucky. So this is Miss Atwood's friend. Now this looks bad. Whoop, this looks bad because you see black. But this is probably one of the best undesirable guests right here. She's a pauper, but she's a wonderful lady, and she knows people of high social standing. That's actually a fantastic card. Worth eating that victory point. Maybe you can dismiss her toward the end of the game. Taking her with a grin. And now I'm going to look at 2 others where I can see 2 and dismiss 1. We have an American Heiress, another one. And this guy's worthless. So let's take a look. He's Gossip. The effeminate baronet strangely delights in gossip and is always eager to visit in the hopes of hearing new rumors. We don't want, well, he's -1, she's -3, but at least I can get money out of her. I don't want single invites with a reputation. Terrible. Okay, so I've got an American Heiress in my circle of friends. The Asquiths are laughing at me. So we are done with our invites, and we're going to break down. We don't flip this because we played the gazebo before. And we're getting near passing, although I did just add a couple folks, so that goes into the discard pile. Now over here, we get, oh, you know what? I never populated, forgive me, I never populated. Was not going to be able to buy, but I never populated the board from the last turn. You know, I admire all those people who film these videos and don't make all these mistakes. It's pretty hard. Anyway, so where am I? I am now getting an objective card for Asquith. I get to keep. I can pick up 5 victory points by I can't get 3 valets without stealing. I don't like that. Here, this is a servant bonus for each basic servant. I like that. I'm walking into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 victory points right there, and I can go back and get 2 more. Not a question, although this is an interesting card because it allows one to not have negative victory points and endgame scoring associated with an American Heiress. If I'm going here, these 2 are going to go back to the bottom of the deck. I'm going to rotate service. And let's take a look at the lay of the land. I like where I'm at with prestige. I don't see, of course, if the York gets the music room, that'd be a disaster, but it's 700. York has been impoverished. I don't see them getting the music room. I quite honestly, I'm somewhat impoverished too, and I got to do something about it. The lack of sporting tiles, which is a primary source of income, is missing. I got a good reputation play. I got a good money play. You know what I'm going to do? I like it. Check this out. Okay. If I have cigars and port in the smoking room, a 2nd level tile where I'm now a 2nd level reputation. My butler comes over. I play the butler. The 2 gentlemen who attend, John Ambrose requires a valet. And I've got a wonderful reputation play. But I'm going to also take 100 here. So I'm going to take 100 here for him and not his reputation. And then I'm going to take 5 reputation, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I now go to tile 3. Stand you up. That was a money and reputation play. I'm done. Come down. I get to flip this. I'm sorry. I don't know how these people do these videos. Now I'm going to flip that. I'm in a dominant position as it relates to this courtship. I think it's safe to say, in fact, I know it's statistically impossible, that they can purchase and flip all these tiles. So I've won the 2nd season courtship, and that's great news. Turn 7, last turn before the 2nd season courtship is settled, even though we know that's pretty much settled. What is York going to do to try to recover? So Rotate service. I think I have a nice play here. Just looking at my cards, and I have 2 ladies. I can now activate that parlor. I want to get busy and getting my victory points up, even though I'll be trailing here. Remember, on final courtship, we're going to consider all the cards that have previously been played. So you got to be robust in the revealed themes. So now I take the parlor. Look what I'm able to do here creatively. Even though she's a pauper, I can borrow a little money from that heiress. And because I get some reputation here, I can offset the cost of having such a crude guest. And she's got a great invite. She knows social elite. So let's do this. Boom. Housekeeper takes care of the 2 ladies playing a game of whist. We need a ladies' maid here, ladies' maid here. Calculate our money first. 4 minus 1 is 3. So I'm going to take 300 and I'm going to put it there. Then we do reputation. We have 3 minus 2 is 1. So look, I don't even go down in reputation, even though I had her in my house. And then look at that invite. Outstanding. So let's take a look at what we get. And oh, look at that. Fantastic. There's higher level guests. She gives 3 victory points. That's great. But I've got a real strategy that's emerging here. These elite guests, these prestige guests, all bring victory points. I'm way behind in developing my manor house, obviously. I'm going to go to offset being behind there by making a strong elite or prestige guest play. So that's great. She's in there. By the way, when you invite these guests, you show your competitors. There's no secrets in the county of Cambridgeshire. Everybody knows who's affiliating with who. So it gives other people an idea who's in your social circle. And I'm going to break down. We're done here. Flip this over. Good to get that fixed. And I have 300. And what do I want to do? I would love... There's a thought here, even though I need more tiles. There's a thought here because this is a great service tile. It allows me to use somebody who's resting in the quarters each turn. That's very, very powerful. I don't know that the dining room does anything for me, but boy, that monument tile could be a game changer. But that's 800, and if I keep picking away at the little stuff and not saving, I don't have a shot at that. I don't think my opponent's going to be able to get to afford that tile, mainly because quite unusually there's been a dearth of sporting tiles, even though they're the most plentiful tile in the game, which produce a lot of income, and so there's not a lot of paths to income. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save that, and I'm making a play to get to that monument tile on my next turn. Family Asquith turn 7. I can see what Yorks are doing over there, trying to worm their way up the social ladder. I'm inclined to combat that a little bit by getting into this flower room. Remember, all 4 revealed themes in the last courtship are going to be taken into account. So I want to continue to develop themes that have been revealed. So let's rotate our service. Pop that in there. Flower room. 2 ladies. I hope I have 2 ladies here. I have 1 card. So you're now going to see passing and how passing works. So I no longer can host an event. I could go to the butler room and get more servants, but I don't want to do that. I've got to pass. It's time to pass. And I'm going to do something very interesting here. I don't know that I would do this in a normal game, but I want to do it to show you. So when you pass, 3 things happen. First thing that happens is you refresh 100% of your service. Next thing that happens is that you go ahead and you reclaim your whole deck. So your deck is freshened and you're ready to go. Everybody can be invited to future events. Third thing that happens is a choice. Either £200, you're taking time off from the social season, you collect a little bit of tenant rent, or you can swap that £200 to refresh the market. I'm going to refresh the market, even though there's some attractive things out here. One of the reasons I might do that is to get that drawing room away from them. That's really not a great idea because there's a good chance I'm going to get a prestige tile on what I draw. So I'm going to grab some tiles. I'm going to just toss them out there. Oh, there's prestige tile. 2 prestige tiles. That's bad. And a monument. Wow. There is a cheat sheet for populating. It's the same as the initial game, but we do have monuments in play. So we've got the tennis court. We got the tennis court there. Wow, there's a lot. There's 2 tennis courts. Tennis courts are great because they generate a lot of income. Monuments come in at the back, and then the others are organized by prestige. So refreshing this builder's market just changed the whole complexion of the game, and not a smart thing to do on my part, because look, I brought 2 prestige tiles with enormous front end victory points. And I've really bought a tile that plays into their prestige guest play. Wow. So I passed. I didn't take the 200 pounds, which I could have used. So I'm suffering to educate. I would really like to have one of those tennis courts, but I'm not going to trade my reputation. So my turn is over. So now we're at the Season 2 courtship. My 6 victory points in prestige beats the 2 victory points over there. The first thing that has to happen is that the young lady, she spent a season in the York Circle of Acquaintances, but now she's back at the Fairchild estate. And I have to decide which Fairchild I want. I'm going to take the gentleman. No, I'm going to take her. My deck is really loaded. I get a victory point card, a garbagey one. I do. That's one where I might trade for that reputation. There's also a reputation victory point calculation and in-game scoring. End of Season 2.